Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, my name is David Popovich, aka the Bookworm, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. So, upon finding books for Pride Month, there was one section I was anxious about. Lesbians. Cause I have never read anything with lesbian leads before. It's nothing against lesbians, it's just, I'm gay. I don't actively look into this niche. Especially when your only exposure to lesbians are Ellen and Yeah. So, where was I going to find a book to fill that void? Like anyone who is desperate, I went to Goodreads, looked under lesbians, chose the first thing I saw, and this is the result. A book I have never heard of from an author I know nothing about that delves into a subject I've never read before, aka my first lesbian book. Pretty much a crapshoot here. So how was it? Sit back and relax as we dive into Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. No relations to Augustus. In the seaside town of Whitstable, Kent, there lives an unassuming girl named Nancy. She works with her family at an oyster restaurant, just living life as usual. Then one night, at a local theater, she sees something that changes everything. Piercing the shadows of the naked stage was a single shaft of rosy limelight, and in the center of this, there was a girl, the most marvelous girl, I knew it at once, that I have ever seen. The name of the girl is Kitty Butler, a cross-dressing performer, who stirs feelings inside Nancy that she has never felt before, kicking off her journey of self-discovery. The book is, well, it's a very interesting read. When I started reading the book, I thought I knew what kind of story Tipping the Velvet would be about. A story of lesbian lovers with London theater as its backdrop. How Nancy grows to understand her love and come out of her shell as a performer. Heck, I thought the title was a reference to theater itself. Nope! That's barely a fourth of the novel. Instead, what we get is an expansive journey that takes us to all different aspects of Victorian London life and how Nancy navigates through them. It starts off like cabaret, then it moves to become a gender-flipped midnight cowboy, shortly followed by a lesbian version of 50 Shades of Grey. Yes, I'm serious. To finally ending with a Norma Rae-style plot, all while Nancy deals with being a lesbian in Victorian London. It's a lot to digest. Also, it turns out Tipping the Velvet means something else. Thank you, Urban Dictionary. Even with all that, the book doesn't lose its focus on what it's about. Nancy's discovery, misconceptions, and growth as a lesbian in Victorian society. And when she discovers it, it opens a brand new world to her. When I see her, I said, it's like, I don't know what it's like. It's like I never saw anything at all before. It's like I am filling up, like a wine glass, when it's filled with wine. I watched the acts before her, and they are like nothing. They're like dust. Then she walks on stage, and she is so pretty, and her suit is so nice, and her voice is so sweet. She makes me want to smile and weep at once. She makes me soar. Here! I place a hand upon my chest, upon the breastbone. I never saw a girl like her before. I never knew there were girls like her. Each section focuses on her development, from her first love, to the loss of her first love, succumbing to lust, and learning about the social injustices in her world, tackling the subject maturely without insulting the reader. Though none of it would have mattered without Nancy being an engaging character. She breathes so much energy into the book. Her rise, fall, temptations, and growth gives us a complex lead. She isn't always likable throughout the book, but she never loses her appeal. The book is built around her, and if done wrong, would have made the book a chore to read. Thankfully, she's a protagonist we can get behind. But what made Tipping the Velvet an interesting read is how similar and alien it is. You could have gender flipped Nancy and would barely have to change anything. I thought how queer it is, and yet how very ordinary. I am in love with you. A man could have easily said that line, but if you were to make Nancy a man, you would lose the characteristics of her as a woman, which is a big part of the book's identity. The majority of its cast is female and provides a female view in Victorian society. Take that out, and you'll have a completely different book, losing a good portion of its charm. Sarah Water mentions she wanted to write a book that she would like to read, and it feels like that. You're stepping into a world that is both familiar and strange, treading same ground but discovering new patches you haven't seen before, putting you in a strange place where the known and unknown meet. When I finished the book, I came away feeling I have gained something more, looked into a life that I rarely look at, expanding my horizons. In other words, the book is really good, filled with passion, heart, and love. The London setting is given in such breathtaking detail, it's almost a character itself. And just for the record, yes, there are lesbian sex scenes. And let's say detailed. Yeah. Very detailed. Tipping the Velvet is a classic coming-of-age story. Seeing Nancy's growth is a journey many people can relate to and learn a bit about themselves as well. I wasn't used to thinking of myself as a grown-up woman, but now, clad in that handsome frock of blue and cream, satin and lace, I began, at last, to feel like one, and to realize, indeed, that I was one. Am I going to look into more stories that feature lesbian characters? Maybe. I don't regret my time reading it, and I'm sure there are other great books like Velvet. I'm just not that interested. There are so many other books from genres that I want to read first, and lesbian fiction isn't near the top. But I'll definitely return to it someday. Still, a damn good book though. What about you, Internet? What's your opinion about Tipping the Velvet? Next week, we leave the realm of fiction to deal with a very real situation. Till next time, have a nice day.